We mobilize to organize. Mobilize to organize. Back in 1995, we had the Million Man March. Now, the Million Man March basically brought 1 million men to Washington, D.C. That's a mobilization effort. That's a mobilization effort. Obviously, just saying like this, when we got out there, they had us raise our hand, and everybody gave $1. So there, in a few minutes, we had mobilized and raised $1 million in that one day. Obviously, there was more raised than that, but just saying, $1 million was raised one day. Now, 1995, this is the difference between mobilization and organization. 1995, it's, past, like, say 2005, that was 10 years ago or more. So just saying, like, if we were organizing 1 million black men and they gave $1 a week, because even, most brothers, no matter how broke they get, could give $1 a week. Not to mention, when they are sitting on their paper like they want to, they can just give you $52 at the beginning of the year or whatever, whenever, just to pay it up for the whole year or whatever. But just saying, $1 million, that gives us $52 million, obviously, in a year's time. 10 years ago, now we would have been and raised over $500 million, $520 million straight for African cause, or for the purposes of the movement of, and strengthening the black man and enriching our families. And one of the things that we know with strengthening ourselves is the black man is going to have to come to grips with the fact that he's going to have to employ himself. He's going to have to, and I don't mean just think, because see, the thing is, as far as the systems of development go, black people are in a within ourselves, we're in a mercantilism, whereas, the more developed, obviously you want to be at a fuller capitalism. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of economics as far as for mercantilism and capitalism within us being within another structure, and then the strategies for that obviously being co-ops and things of this nature, because that will obviously help us bridge for going past capitalism. But just saying, the reality of the day is you have to have the funds and whatnot. So it's just a thing where $520 million, if we had that today, just looking at the fact, say we got 50 states, two major cities, because black people live in the urban areas or whatever. But basically what we're looking at is, you're talking about like 50 states, that's 10 million per state, and 2 cities, which, we're not really dealing with that many black people in certain states, but just saying, we're looking at least $5 million to invest in the infrastructure of black people. Because like right now, we're dealing with a situation where black people are, we're in a is it quandary? We're in a situation where we have a black president, okay? But then we don't have our own infrastructure to really back up the black president. And I mean, this is no secret. I mean, don't try, you need to wake up. I don't want to, I'm not going to use certain language or whatever, but you need to wake up. Because it's just like, we don't have the infrastructure that provides food, clothes, shelter, medical care, and education. You have to look at the fact that a lot of, there's a stimulus package going around, and the stimulus package is to obviously stimulate. One of the things that the brother Barack Obama as the president has said is, I will give monies and tax cuts to employers that provide jobs. So you can only imagine if there was an African-owned corporation that could provide jobs for our people. They would get parts of this stimulus. A lot of the people who this stimulus is designed for said, well, we're not finna go off into all this. What we finna end up doing is saving the stimulus package. We're gonna save it. So we're talking about people who are purposely trying to send the country into a depressed state, or a recessed state. It would be great if we had the infrastructure, because with all these billions of dollars, and someone that would be more sensitive to the plight of urban businesses, if these urban businesses existed, then you would have the funding to either, of course, we'd be crazy not to get the funding to start more businesses, but it would be great to get the funding to enhance and continue and grow something that should have already existed. But this is coming from the dominant culture structure. But like I was saying with the difference between mobilization and organization is, with mobilization we raised $1 million in one day, whereas we could be raising $1 million whenever, as well as obviously you can see the difference over the years. If we had the $5 million to put directly into the African communities today from just $1, not to mention there are brothers and sisters who can give $10 or $100, but almost everyone can give $1, because what we look at a proactive stance, which I'll get to after a while. We look for a proactive stance instead of a reactive stance, because one of the things that dollar would do is, you can't say, well, we got homeless people, they can't afford this or afford that, but we would end up eliminating the homeless problem within our people, because we have a more proactive stance towards how we conduct ourselves. Another thing about mobilization and organization, of course, that's a strategy. Organization is obviously the key. You can't be unified unless you're organized. The only way you can be unified is to be organized.